Hello, my name is Netra Himalacharya. I'm a student of Algoma University, and me and my group members, Sumanpreet Kaur, Yashasri Erakunda, Harpreet Singh, Praveena Kumar, we are going to give a presentation on a subject Turtle Island, Canada, and the world, and the topic would be Glitches in the Nation, and the course instructor is Derek Mark Knott. So first thing is to know where the Gwich people or the Gwich community is coming from. So Gwich is known as a Kuchin people, and they come from as Athabaskan speaking American group tribe. The Gwich story or the creation story tells us that they have been living here from a long time, and they separated into two beings, and they became relatives by making an agreement with each other. The land would sustain caribou, and caribou would sustain the people, and they would each other keep peace in each other's heart. Next slide, please. So Gwitch's people have a lot of different characteristics and stories in their mythology and religious books. And some of the very famous Gwitch's mythological characters are Raven, Beaver, and Man. One of the photographs is show the traditional or the characters from the Gucci's traditional story. Their worldview was very harsh Arctic climate landscape from Alaska to Mexican Delta. Next slide, please. Okay, I
So
would like.
now I'm going to describe this slide. So I'm going to explain about the environment of the story where it take place. The setting and the environment in Gwich'in story was like very deeply connected to the Haida people. The environment was like lush forest, and it was covered with a lot of mountains where the water flows, and even there were a lot of animals which were wandering here and there. So this is all about the environment. And from the story it is very clear that Haida people now have very strong relations with the land, and they consider their land and animals as a sacred. During the story, land and environment had helped the women a lot to find her way. Not only this, even animals located there helped a lot, who increased her spirit and support her in many ways. And the creation process and the formation of the story was like were very mythical and symbolic. And during the first stage of the story, it was very dark and silence. There was no one, and we can only see the animals there. Apart from that, the women, Gwich'in women was getting help from the animals in kind of in the form of skills, abilities. So in the end, like she found her brother who was lost. So in the end, like we can say, Gwich'in women was the first woman who was converted into the Haida first women, and her brother was converted into the first Haida man. So from that, the birth started taking place, and this is how the creation of Haida people start. So now Harpreet is going to explain the next slide.
Hello, I am going to discuss about the values and beliefs of Gwich'in's people. And first of all, Gwich'in creation story display different values and beliefs of the Gwich'in's people life. For example, connection with the land, spiritual connections, cultural identity, and oral traditions. First of all, the Gwich'in's creation story present the deep connection between the Gwich'in people and the land they living. They use the land for different purposes like agriculture and making homes on the land. Moreover, the Gwich'in people always try to make a balance between human activity and the environment. They use the land and resources to fulfill their needs. Along with this, they showed huge respect for the animals, and they hunt and the resources they take from the land. Always show respect towards these things. They preserved their culture with the help of oral traditions and passed their cultures from one generation to second generation. At the end, the thought of the Gwich'in's people, like human, animals, and land, were interconnected with each other and others. They try to make balance within these things. Turning to the animals and their importance in Gwich'in's creation story, the main predominant animal in Gwich'in's creation story is caribou. Caribou has a significant role in Gwich'in people daily life. Gwich'in individuals consider that caribou is not just animal; it is their identity, and it also display the life of Gwich'in's people. They use caribou skin to make different type of things like tents, and they also use caribou skin on the branches as a bedding and flooring. They use caribou fat to make soaps. Drums are also made of caribou hide. Along with this, caribou not only fulfill their needs, but also have spiritual values in their lives. Thank you. And my friend Pravina is going to discuss about the animals exhibition traits and they embodies.
Yeah, hi. I'm going to describe about the animals' exhibit traits that they embodied. According to Gwich'in's people, there is a deep interconnection between the humans and animals. They will treat the animals and humans as the same kind of nature. And they will treat equal in their ways, like how people will relate the humans, they will treat the animals same like that, because animals are providing their food and their resources for their life, and they are considered as a same like a, not only as spiritual beliefs but also as a physical beings. Like they respect the animals, and they will like how they are respecting their land and their living nature, they will treat the same way for the animals also. Next slide please. There are some specific animals which represents the Gwich'in's cultures, spiritual and cultural beliefs. Like wolves, they represent the importance Gwich'in culture is showing for the animals, and the cunning and resourceful nature it symbolizes by the animal fox. And they play like caribou, it is a very it is a very interesting animal which shows the abundance, create like bringing a large amount of food for them, and they it is more helpful in communicating with them. And there is a lot of interconnection between these animals to the people of Wichin culture, and they play a major role in their way of living, not only in their way of living but also with the world nature kind of living with them. Next slide please. Here, finally, I want to conclude this topic with which in people relationship with animals. It is a major aspect that they are with the spiritual and cultural beliefs, and the main kind of within stories we can understand that if we have to up early, then we have to do our work. Like without putting the action in work, and we start late, then our work will not complete here. So my friend Pravina will continue the next part.
Hello. So, so this part I'm talking about the indigenous worldview that we learned from the story When Fish Were Men. So, in this, the fish Loche is depicted as a family and they are traveling together, which reflects that idea that animals are not separate from humans, but rather than They are a part of large community that includes both human and non-human entities. Um, the lochi and other fish are respected and understood. The decision to wait for the right time to migrate upstream aligns with their natural cycles. In indigenous culture, they always stress about the interconnectedness of all life forms. The actions of the animals and humans in the story impact each other, which highlights the idea that all the life is interconnected in a delicate balance. So, from the story, when fish were men, they taught us the importance of working hard, timing, and the rhythms of nature. So, this story also depicts that the fish travel upstream in the spring and return downstream reflects the cyclic view of time. The indigenous worldview often stress the importance of living in harmony with the natural world. In this slide, we'll talk about the we talk about one teaching we learned from when fish were men that we can apply in our daily on life. That is by paying attention to the changing seasons and the impact on your life. Be just like fish Loche who worked hard during the winter and rested when it's necessary, we can also strive to achieve a healthy work life balance. Then we can align our activities with the environmentally responsible practices to ensure the well being of the natural world. Then we can understand that not everything has to be rushed. Like there is time for each and everything. Then we learn that when it's time to be productive, recognize the time when it's need to be productive and when it's time to take break and recharge. Like fish loaches, how that fish used to rest after the winter work. It teaches the importance of self care and taking time for yourself. The indigenous culture always taught us to strive to live in harmony with our surroundings. This also involves respecting the daily and seasonal rhythms of our community and the people we interact with. Through that, we can find great balance and peace, reduce our stress, and make more thoughtful and sustainable choices. It also encourages us to be mindful of our own internal rhythms and to adapt to the world around us, contributing to our well-being and the well-being of the environment and the community that we are part of. And lastly, here I've mentioned my group members' work that contributed to the presentation. Lastly, thank you for everyone participating the presentation.